Seahawks protesting player just issued challenge to all Americans with a nasty hidden message to Trump. Michael Bennett is a Seattle Seahawks defensive end and he appeared on CNN Town Hall on Wednesday evening to discuss football, the NFL, and the recent national anthem protests. His teammate, Doug Baldwin, stood by his side during the on-air interview. Bennett said the following about the core reason for the protest. "I would like to challenge every American watching this show to treat people better. That's really what it's about. It's about treating people like human beings. That's the first step. The first step is to recognize and see somebody as an equal being when you recognize them. There's no way that a woman should feel less human than a man. There's no way that a black person should feel less human than a white man. Everybody should be seen equal, and until that happens and everybody sees what we're fighting for, it's the truth and the reality of what we want and less about the flag, then there's never gonna be a change. And the changes starts with our heart. This is not a violent protest. This is a peaceful protest. We're challenging people spiritually, not physically, spiritually to change the way that you've been doing, change the culture." Bennett's words came after a game this past weekend where the Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans stayed inside their locker rooms during the national anthem. Something some teams have been doing in response to the national anthem protests. In the Seahawks press release they said they stayed behind because they would not stand for the injustice that has plagued people of color in this country. The NFL player insisted that protests should continue until real change takes place. He also disparaged President Trump for his comments on the NFL protests and said that he stooped very low when insulting the teams and individuals protesting. Bennett spoke with Anderson Cooper of CNN to discuss a plethora of different issues and made the following comments about the president and whether he's willing to discuss this controversy with him. "I would love to sit down with the president and talk about these issues and be able to find a way to fix them, or be able to find a way to have the voice of the people that don't have the voice that they're not listening to. I can't sit here and say that he's not my president, he's not that, because at the end of the day he is the president of the United States and for him to say it's a privilege and we shouldn't speak on what we believe in because we're making money, I mean he was a rich man too, and all of a sudden he's speaking on what he believes in, and he still stood up for what he believes in and he's the president of the United States, so what makes him different from us?" He continued, "I wish we could have that unity that we showed for this weekend. I wish we could have showed that unity for him this year when he was out of the league. I wish we could have brought together as a group of collective people and players to stick up for our brother when he went through something like this." Fox News reported. Amid the controversial protests and comments across the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks started a donation fund Friday for equality and justice. The team announced the Seahawks Players Equality and Justice for All Action Fund in a statement on their website, as a way to combat injustice and inequality by supporting leadership and education programs. In a statement signed by the players, they said the program will fund programs addressing equality and justice with hopes to build a more compassionate and inclusive society. They said an advisory board will be created to oversee the group and to decide how they will distribute the donated money. The board is said to be made up of players, team staff, and business and community leaders. The team has reportedly been trying to appear unified in their message and make a tangible difference, according to Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman. He added that enough had been said on the subject and now it was time to help those affected. "I think it's imperative," Sherman said. "The way things are, you want to be a shining example of what things could and how people could come together, and how it looks when people do come together and unite as one, and don't look at skin color, don't look at gender, don't look at anything but the quality of someone's character. We are trying to do our best to be that example." Tension over protests has heightened following recent comments made by President Trump. At a political rally in Alabama last week, Trump said, "Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, say, 'Get that son of a b off the field right now, out, he's fired.'" The comment led to an overwhelming response from players and teams throughout the league on Sunday with several more athletes protesting, including the entire Seahawks team who chose to stay off the field during the anthem. The protests don't look like they will be stopping anytime soon. Many veteran groups and politicians have expressed their lack of support for the kneeling of players during the national anthem. The NFL has been dealt a massive backlash. While players have shown their right to free speech, so have football observers who are canceling their DirecTV packages that include ESPN. Share if you think kneeling during the anthem is disrespectful.